Masters. I have a double question for you today. The first one is, what does it feel like when I encounter one of my limitations? So that is the first question. What does it feel like to encounter one of my limitations? And I'm also going to teach you kind of a trick that I do with my questions so that I can make it, if I don't have a flow necessarily that's coming out of me for a specific question, I'll do what's called a sentence stem. Now, I didn't originate that. Nathanial Branden, a psychologist from somewhere, he did it. He used it with his patients and it worked really well, because writing is one of those mysterious things that brings all the information from your unconscious mind and kind of from the energy body up to the forefront of your conscious mind. If you're a writer, you probably already know this, but when you're writing, you kind of get into that flow, and then when you go back and you read it, you're like, holy shit, I didn't even know that I knew that, or I didn't know that I was thinking that. And that's the whole point of asking yourself questions and then writing about them. You don't have to be a writer to write about them, but you also don't have to use writing. Not everybody learns that way. Some people just simply learn by talking. So if you have a conversation with someone and you talk about if that was your topic of conversation, what does it feel like to encounter one of your limitations? If you have somebody ask you that, or if you ask somebody that, you can actually do the same thing. You can, once you get into the flow of conversation, you'll notice that certain content from different portions of your heart, brain, mind, soul, however you think about it, comes up to the surface. So what does it feel like to encounter one of my limitations? The sentence stem, right? The sentence stem is where you use a portion of the sentence. So for that one, I would do when I encounter one of my limitations, ... So I write at the top, when I encounter one of my limitations, and then you just bam, 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 answer one right after the other. Sometimes it has helped me if I continually write when I encounter my limitations, and then I just finish the sentence. It feels like a wall has, been landed in front of me. When I encounter one of my limitations, I notice that I'm short of breath. When I encounter one of my limitations, I feel lost. When I encounter limitations, I feel like I'm not good enough. When I encounter, it's like a waterfall idea, but when you're doing it in writing, you just use like a portion of the sentence and then you do the stem, you finish it. So it's kind of like a tree trunk, the sentence that you're writing, the beginning of the structure of the sentence that you're writing, and then you stem it as many times as you can, and it'll just come out. It'll just start flowing, and it'll come out, and you'll realize, holy shit, I didn't know that when I encounter one of my limitations that it feels like I hit a wall. So like that would be a metaphor, and you can do a lot of different work on yourself energetically, visually, to climb over walls, to walk around walls, to be higher than a wall, to break down the wall, there's a lot of things. This is all about collecting valuable content that's within you so that you can go further than you have ever gone before. Go further than you've ever thought you could before. So that first question is, what does it feel like to encounter one of my limitations? And then the second part of the question, or the second question that I connected to it, was, how often do I practice transcending my limitations? I love that question. I think because it has the word transcending in it, and I love that word. I think it just has this like feeling, the word does for me. When I say it, I feel good. But anyway, so that question, what does it, or how often do I practice transcending my limitations? That is one that you might already have a common idea or common belief, but once you start writing about it, you might realize that you get to a certain place when you find a limitation, and then there's always that same spot where you turn around. Or you might find that in areas of like wealth, success, and money, that kind of area, you are very good at transcending your limitations. So that would be something to be proud of and hopefully turn around and help other people do. But you might find that while you're really good at transcending limitations in that area of your life, you aren't very good at transcending the limitations, or you don't spend a lot of time practicing transcending limitations in your area of like self-doubt or relationships or something like that. So this is all just really good information for you to have on yourself, so that you know where to direct that energy of change, that energy of choice, and that energy of self-awareness. So you can also turn that one into a sentence stem. When I practice transcending my limitations, ... and then I think in a different way. I listen to new podcasts. I talk to new people. I say things over and over. And you just finish it over and over and over. So that one you will find, you'll find a lot of different kind of, I guess, like tentacles of information on that one, how often you do practice it and how you do practice it. All that is good. So what does it feel like to encounter my limitations, and how often do I practice transcending my limitations? Hopefully this will help you to be a little bit more self-aware. All right, bye.